it's Mary. How are you? And I'm so glad that you're here tonight with me. All right, so like I said earlier, grab a pen and some paper, or rather paper and a pen. I am one of those people, if you don't know anything about me, first of all, when you come on, please introduce yourself and let me know that you can hear me okay. If you know anything about me, you know that I don't just want to talk out at you. I want to offer you actionable takeaways that will change your life. And so that is what we're here to do tonight, is to talk about how I was able to completely change my life personally and professionally, and how you have the exact same opportunity to do the exact same thing. I'm not any more special than you. I'm not any better than you. I'm not anything more than you. I'm just normal, just like you. Hey Diana, nice to see you here. So when you come on, let me know where you're from. Just say hello. It's always fun to see different parts of the country and world, because we know that people can see us all over the world now, where you're coming in from. So please stop in, say hello, and let me know where you are from. That would be fun. The one thing I want you to be thinking about while we take 2 minutes to let people jump on is I want you to tell me below, what's the one big thing that seems to knock you off the wagon every single time? What's the one thing that you feel like you zero in on and you're like, if it wasn't for that, I would not yo-yo. If it wasn't for that, I would stay on the wagon and I would be healthy. But because of that thing, I fell off the wagon and I play the yo-yo madness game. I want to know from you, because here's the deal. So I hear stress, and Diana's from Central Valley, Cali. She's a Cali girl, Cali girl. Stress will do it every time, of course. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys are here. So, and for everyone, it's something different, right? It's a matter of thinking, okay, you know, it's the holiday season, it gets me all stressed out and I fall off the wagon. Or it's the people I'm hanging around with and they're not really doing healthy stuff, so I'm like, who cares anymore? Or it's the winter and I go into hibernation. One of the reasons why I love living in Florida, because we're naked all year long. Okay, not really naked, but sort of naked, right? Hey, Shauna's here. Nice to have you, Shauna. Shauna's from Canada. So we've got Canada in the house. I'm getting notifications. Let me pop them off. Okay, whoops, sorry. For me, it's shift work and not being able to stick to a routine. Boy, can I relate to the shift work thing, because, not that I was a shift worker, but I ran skilled nursing and rehab facilities for a large chunk of my corporate America career. And oh man, I've always felt so bad for my 11 to 7 shifters, my nurses and aides who were 3 to 11, whenever you're sort of off kilter of everyone else. But here's what I will tell you, and Sean is a great proof of that. It doesn't have to derail you. You don't have to fall off the wagon just because of that. If you want it bad enough, you will figure it out and you will plan for things and you will make it happen and you will eat healthy and be really healthy. And let me tell you, I had people on the later shift, the night shift, that they were healthy. They were healthy. I mean, the majority weren't. And I've never seen so many nurses smoke. But anyway, that's a whole nother live and a whole nother webinar. But anyway, a lot of times it's different things. You know, maybe you get bored with your workouts, right? Or you hit a plateau and you get really frustrated and you're like, crap, you know, forget it. This doesn't work. This whole healthy lifestyle thing doesn't work. The one thing that used to happen to me, and don't judge me for this, but like, okay, so I'd fall off the wagon and I always did this 3-month thing. So for 3 months I would do good, and then for 3 months I was like, fell off the wagon and back to my old unhealthy habits again. But when I would get back on the wagon, and I call it on the wagon, off the wagon. Y'all know what I mean, right? Like when you're back into healthy habits, everything's going good. You start to see results. Like things start to happen. You start to maybe lose the weight if that's your goal, or your clothes start to fit better. Your hair is shiny again. Your face isn't all broke out, and you sort of look in the mirror and you're like, okay, all right, I got it going on. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. I don't need to go to the gym anymore. And then you miss one workout. And you have like one cheat meal day. and then it turns into 2, and then it turns into a week, and then it turns into 2 weeks, and then it turns into a month, which turns into 2 months, which turns into 3 months. And that's what happened to me. And then I was like, crap, shoot, look at me. I feel crappy, I have no energy, I need to get back on the wagon again. So that was my story, and it was so incredibly frustrating. But anyway, I want to talk to you about a couple things tonight. First of all, thank you for being here. Thank you and I need you to be grateful to the person who invited you, whether it was a friend of yours, a coworker of yours. Obviously, whoever invited you is a coach. That's what we all do. We coach. We coach ourselves and we coach other people. And it's the most rewarding. It's one of the most rewarding hats that I have. It feels so good to help other people. You know when you go to see a really good movie and you feel like screaming from the rooftop that everyone absolutely has to see that movie or they'll just disintegrate. It's that good. Or you found a healthy recipe that's really, really good and you're like, oh my gosh, everyone should know about this. Well, that's what it feels like when you become a coach. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so unbelievable. I just helped that person to completely change their life and stay on the wagon and feel good and feel healthy and reach their goals and stop, yo-yoing. And can everyone hear me okay? I probably should start out by saying, can you hear me okay? It sounds like most of you can, but if you can't, please holler and tell me that I'm too loud or too soft or something. So holla. Christine, thank you for being here. And Tico and Lindsay and Holly, and there's so many of you popping on. I love that you're here. Well, I forgot what I was saying, but I was saying something really profound, I'm sure. Oh, coaching. And so I'm going to talk to you not only about how I changed my life personally with getting myself on the wagon and staying there and stopping the yo-yo madness, but also how becoming a coach professionally changed my life, and it all went hand in hand, and it was crazy because I never really dreamt that this was all going to happen in my life. And in my personal belief system, I believe that this is my divine purpose, that this is what God wants me to do here on earth. He's like, you know what, Mary, I'm giving you these gifts, and you have a heart to serve people and help people, and I want you to do that. And so the beautiful thing is that every day I almost pinch myself and feel so blessed, like, am I really able to do this, like, for a living? At the same time, I'm keeping myself on the wagon and I'm staying healthy. I'm also able to bring people along on this journey with me. So I not only want to share with you what changed me personally back in July of 2008, I'm going to give you a little piece of that story, but what has changed my life professionally now as well. And this opportunity for you to change your life personally and professionally, it's an opportunity for you too, just like it was for me. So I want to make sure that I tell you a little bit about who I am. So my name is Mary Schrank. I live here in sunny, gorgeous Florida. I've been in Florida for 21 years now. I was born and raised in Maryland. If you hear my Maryland accent come out, don't tell me, because I try really hard to keep that slang at bay, because sometimes we say words not the right way, but that's okay. I love my hometown in Maryland. It will always be home to me. I'm married to an amazing husband, Paul, and I have a son named Jake, who is 22 years old. He is in fire academy. He wants to be a lieutenant in the fire department, so I'm very, very proud of him. He's an amazing, amazing man, and God did right by giving me a boy. That's all I'm going to say. God did right by giving me a boy. I would have taken anything God gave me, and thank you for telling me you can hear me okay. I would have been thrilled and blessed with anything God gave me, but sometimes I hear these stories of these young girls and whoo, I don't know. I'm like, all my son wanted was fast running shoes and some really cool sports shorts. I'm like, okay, that's easy enough. I can do that. You know, a lot of people look at me. One of the things I should preface and say is I talk really fast, and I'm sorry. I try sometimes to slow down, but you can rewind me. That's the cool thing about all this, is this will be recorded, so if you missed something, you can go back and listen again, right? So Holly has 2 girls. I don't even want to go there with your girlfriend, but and bless you with your 2 beautiful, healthy girls. So I know I talk fast, and I'm really sorry. I'll try to slow down so you can hear me and understand me. But you know, you look at me and you may think, you know, of course, no one is here to say that I'm perfect, but I am very, very healthy. The healthiest at 46 years old, I'm the healthiest I've ever been in my entire life. And I truly mean that, like with my hand raised to God. I've never felt better. I've never looked better. My hair is the best it's ever been. My skin, my nails. I mean, it's just, I could go on and on about how amazing I feel at 46, and who would have thunk it? There's my Marilyn. Who would have thunk it? So it's easy sometimes to look at me and think, oh, she's always been healthy. She's never had a weight problem. She's never ever lived unhealthy. She's probably, came out of the womb eating salads. And I want to make sure you understand, that ain't the story behind Mary. That's not my story at all. The frame is freezing. I'm sorry. My Wi-Fi seems to be okay, and I'm not getting any connection issue challenges. So maybe it's on your end. Just do a refresh and double check. Thanks, Anne. So here's the thing. No, I haven't always been healthy. I have amazing parents, and I had an amazing upbringing. Like, we didn't want for much. We had so much love in our family, and my brother and I, we never doubted how much we were loved. We lived in a beautiful home with a beautiful yard, and as I said, we had a wonderful upbringing. However, it wasn't filled with healthy food. My parents worked very hard. They were both blue-collar workers, and so there was a lot of times where everyone was just rushing to just get food on the table, just to get dinner prepared and on the table before it was 10 o'clock at night. And a lot of times those dinners looked like Mrs. Paul's fish sticks. Y'all remember Mrs. Paul's fish sticks? And macaroni and cheese and kind of things like that. So I don't fault my mom. I don't fault my dad. Please, if you're listening, I doubt they are, but I'm not telling the story because I want you to feel sad about that. I'm telling the story so you understand it's not like my parents raised me with, a garden in the backyard and we were always eating this fresh produce and these really healthy meals. That isn't how I was raised. So I had to learn it, but I didn't learn it yet. I went off to college in August of 1989, and here I was, little Miss Cheerleader, homecoming queen, president of my class, pretty much a good girl. And I go off to Marshall, and my whole life turns upside down. Talk about going from unhealthy to I'm surprised I'm still alive, and I really mean that when I say it. So here I was raised with not a very healthy upbringing in terms of food, in terms of exercise and working out type of thing. It wasn't a whole lot of that going on. Then I go off to college, and I am in the most unhealthy environment you could possibly conjure up in your brain. I don't blame anyone. I make all of my own choices. We have control of three things: your thoughts, your feelings, and emotions. And along with your thoughts and your feelings and emotions, which nobody can take away from you, comes choices. And we utilize our thoughts and our feelings and emotions to make choices. And sometimes those choices aren't really the best choices. Well, when I got at college, I surrounded myself with really fun people, but not healthy people. And unfortunately, there was a lot of peer pressure, and I fell totally trapped to all of that. And so, I'm just going to be honest with you. I hope you don't judge me, but there was, the drugs and the drinking and the promiscuity. And no, I didn't just eat the meals that were on the meal plan with my dorm and housing or whatever, but I had a bowl of Lucky Charms after every single meal. And I had Taco Bell at 4 in the morning because we were drinking and we were doing drugs, and we always had all this food all hours of the night. And I was failing out of school, and I went home for Christmas break that first semester, and my mother took one look at me. I'm not joking when I tell you my hair was falling out. I had huge chunks of bald spots in my hair. I was broke out. My face was just awful. I was broke out everywhere, and I gained 30 pounds. I gained 30 pounds in 3 months. They say the freshman 10 or 15. Well, I was the freshman 30. And I went home for Christmas, and of course I felt sluggish and sick, and nothing felt healthy about me at all. And my mom took one look at me and she said, "Oh dear God, what is happening to you? What happened? What's wrong? Are you okay? Are you sick?" I mean, I really did. That's how bad I looked. And of course the weight, she obviously recognized I put on all that weight. So, it was like a slap of reality, but I still, I spent the next year and a half. I went back to school. I was going to Marshall University in West Virginia. I went back after that Christmas break, and I continued spiraling down that same path. I spent 2 solid years, those first 2 years of college, with that unhealthy lifestyle. And knock, knock, knock on my, I was living off campus at the time in a house with some roommates, and I was in Marshall, Marshall University in West Virginia, which was 8 hours from Maryland. 8. Knock, knock, knock on my front door was my brother, who said, I'm here to pick you up. And I said, huh? And he said, Mom and Dad sent me to pick you up. Well, all I have to say, and I'll make this a long story short, is my parents saved my life. My brother took me home. I was so mad. You can only imagine, I was so mad. But my brother got me home, and I realized that I was living a very unhealthy life, that I was in a very unhealthy environment, and praise God, my parents were smart enough to see that and sent my brother to bring me home. So I finished college, fortunately, praise God, in 4 years, which is a miracle. And you know, I didn't have any long-term repercussions of all of the crap that I did to my body in those first 2 years of college. But I did graduate, and then I got married in 1994, had my son in 1995, and then really after that, I spent the next 13 years yo-yoing. I was on the wagon, off the wagon, on the wagon, off the wagon, as we talked about at the beginning. So really, if you look at the first half of my life, it wasn't healthy. I wasn't surrounded by people going to the gym and eating, you know, healthy food and filled with energy. I was surrounded by these people that were incredibly unhealthy in a lot of different areas of their life. And so I just didn't know how to stay on the wagon. I didn't have a model. I didn't have anyone to show me or tell me, you know, short of knowing I needed to eat healthy and work out, duh, right? We all know that. I didn't know, I knew what I needed to do, but I didn't know how. And nobody was really telling me, how do I do this and sustain it? So, like a lot of people during those yo-yo years, oh my gosh, I did it all. And every single thing I did, I thought for sure this time was different. This was the thing that was going to completely change my life. Boxing classes, spin classes, boot camps. I hired personal trainers and spent so much money on personal trainers. And you name the diet pill and I took it. Please, again, don't judge me, but I took diet pills for, my gosh, probably up until, I want to say like up until about 5.5 years ago. I took so many diet pills. I mean, and this is what's really embarrassing. I can't even tell you what they were called. I can tell you that they were yellow. The last one I used to take was yellow. That is stupidity. I'm an intelligent woman, a college graduate, a corporate executive, and I'm putting poison in my body that I can't even tell you the name of it, okay? But here's what's really funny about that. All those years I took those diet pills and spent God knows how much money, right? I was 15 pounds heavier than I am today, and I don't take any diet pills today. So it's really, really good marketing. So please listen to me, if you're taking diet pills and you think that's your solution, I'm telling you it's not. All it's doing is working against you. So I could go on and on about that, but I won't. But I'll tell you this one story. So again, my point during the yo-yo years is that I really genuinely, in my heart of hearts, felt like every time I discovered something new, that something new was going to be the thing. That this was going to be the thing that finally kept me on the wagon. And it wasn't. It wasn't. But I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But I was remember so vividly sitting in the bathtub, and I was reading a magazine, probably Shape magazine or Oxygen, or one of those, right? And there's so many ads, right? And I remember, like I could, as if it were yesterday. It was a 2-page spread, and it was an ad, and it was all red. It was a lot of red. The containers of the bottles were red. The girl, the beautiful girl, oh my God, she had like a leopard bathing suit on, and I could like see myself in her. Like I was like, oh, her body's kind of like mine, but healthier version. And if I take all of these supplements that are in this ad, that are in these red bottles, I'm gonna look like her. I mean, legit, I was a corporate executive, a college graduate, a mom and a wife, and this is what's going on in my brain. I was like, I got this. If I do all this stuff with these red containers, this girl, I'm gonna look like her with the leopard bathing suit. I believed it so strongly that I remember calling my best friend and saying, Jennifer, you are freaking not gonna believe it. I figured it out. I found the solution. Whatever it was called. I don't even know what it was called. Can you guys relate to this? Like, Have you ever done this too, where you're so captivated by advertising that you're just like, oh my gosh. And so I hope you can relate, and I'm not the only one. So I hope that this is all resonating with you, because I'm really going to feel stupid if it's not. So give me some hearts if you're like, yeah, I've done a little bit of that, Mary, or maybe a lot of that. But anyway, I think at the end of the day, what I'm trying, first of all, it obviously wasn't the solution, the red container things. Sounds familiar. Thank you, Christine. I'm glad you're here, Christine. Nice to have you here. But here's, again, I'm going to repeat myself again, but I need you to hear this. I just kept looking at these healthy people. My sister-in-law is one of them. Just continually, constantly healthy. Like, she never really stressed about the healthy habits. She just made healthy food. She cooked healthy food for her kids. She went to the gym on a regular basis. And it was just her thing. It was her life. And I kept saying, Julie, how are you doing this? Like, please, please, please tell me what you're doing. And she's like, I work out and I eat healthy. Oh my God, I love you, Julie, but that's not helping, because I already know I need to eat healthy and I already know I need to work out, but I'm not staying consistent with it. I keep falling off the wagon. Please, for God's sakes, tell me how I can stop falling off the wagon. And nobody was able to tell me how. They were able to tell me what, but they weren't able to tell me how. Tonight, I'm going to tell you how. Does that excite you? Like, God bless, put your shoulders down, man. The weight of the world, just rest your shoulders, grab your paper and your pen, and get ready, because I've got 4 tips for you. They're not even just tips. Like, forget the word tips, like whatever. I'm going to tell you what changed for me. In July of 2008, right before the 4th of July weekend, that's how vivid this memory is for me. I'm going to tell you exactly what changed in my life that has kept me on the wagon since July of 2008. That's 9 years, if you can do the math. I spent 13 years yo-yoing, and I've spent the last 9 years staying on the wagon. I'm doing something right, people. I'm doing something right. I figured out the how. I knew the what, and now I know the what and the how. And you're gonna know it too. And I'm so freaking stoked to tell you about it. So we're not only gonna learn how to help you personally, but you're also gonna learn how I changed my life professionally as well, and you have the ability to do both tonight. So be excited with me. I'm so excited. Okay. Anyway, I'm a little bit of an excitable person. So what I hope is that you have hope. What I hope is that you hear my story and you realize, oh, wow, Mary wasn't birthed healthy. Well, that's not true. I was birthed healthy, but things spiraled out of control after birth, right? I didn't live healthy my whole life. I haven't always been this lean. I haven't always been this healthy. I haven't always been, just so you know, like with my hand raised to my precious Heavenly Father, I haven't been sick in 5.5 years. And I don't even have to knock on wood or none of that stuff, because I already know that my life is going to continue to be this healthy, because obviously what I've been doing the last 5.5 years, I ain't messing with it. Why would I do that? That would be stupid. That would be the definition of insanity. I'm going to hold on to what I'm doing. And you have the ability to do the exact same thing. So what I'm hoping is that you have hope in hearing my story, that if I can yo-yo for all those years and now I am not, and it's been 9 years, that if you've been yo-yoing and you've been doing diet pills and you've been doing the latest fads and this and that and that and this and this and that, and it's not working, then you can stop the yo-yo madness too. Because if I can do it, you can do it. Why not you? Why not you? You're not any different than me. We're not different than each other. Do you understand that? Like, I get boogers and I poop and I put my pants on one leg at a time. Just like all of you, okay? That's probably TMI. But I just want you to know that, like, we're all real people. Real deals. All right, so are you ready? Are you ready for some tips? Okay, so I hate to call them tips. I hate tips. I hate it. So what changed for me? Tip number 1. I'm still going to call them tips. What changed for me? The first thing, number 1, period, on your piece of paper. You guys got the paper with the pen? Remember we talked about it? Okay, number 1. What was the problem? The problem was I had an unhealthy mindset. The problem was I actually didn't really even believe that I could stop yo-yoing, because no one was really telling me anything that led me to believe that I had the solution to the problem. Everyone kept telling me the what, remember? You need to eat healthy, you need to work out, but nobody told me the how. So I didn't have the mindset that I even had a possible solution to the problem to fix this stupid spiral of yo-yoing craziness that I had. So tip number one, what changed for me is I had to get healthy between the ears first. I had to change my mindset. And if you think that's all hokey pokey, silly, mushy, gushy stuff, well, I'm here to tell you it's not. And maybe it's time for you to change your thinking because thank you, Diana, because it obviously worked for me. And they always say you should look to people who found the solution and try to do what they're doing because it might just be the solution for you. So if what you're doing hasn't been working, then I would be really open to something new. So I'm here to tell you that whether you find it mushy gushy or whatever you want to find mindset stuff, it's not. So the insecurities were obviously mounting with me. I'm a very confident person. I've always been a very confident person, and a lot of that stems from all of the love that surrounded me and still surrounds me today from the people in my life. They make me feel like I can do anything. They make me feel loved. I don't know how to explain it. When you're surrounded by love, it matters, you know? And so I was a very confident person, but now here I am, I'm becoming very insecure because I can't figure out how to be healthy and stay that way. More than 3 months, for Pete's sakes. I wasn't proud of myself anymore. I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm climbing the corporate ladder. I'm, a 6-figure corporate executive. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm all these wonderful things. Why can't I figure this other thing out? So I wasn't very proud of myself. I hated the way my clothes fit. I hated the way I felt yucky in the morning. I just, it's hard to be positive and happy when you're insecure. When you wake up and you're like, So I was losing hope and belief in myself that I would ever stop the yo-yo madness. I felt weak physically. I felt weak emotionally. I felt weak spiritually. I was just in that sort of yuck feeling. So what was my solution? I had to get healthy between the ears, which is what I just told you. But here's the thing. And so what I want to tell you about that is I had to change my mindset and I had to change the way I saw myself. So while I told you that I felt insecure and I felt, I didn't feel like I looked good in my clothes and I felt all of those things when I looked at myself, well, I had to see myself in a different way, right? I had to see myself healthy. I had to visualize myself healthy. I had to visualize what I would look like when I was healthy. I had to visualize how I was going to manifest this healthy lifestyle that I wanted so bad and what that was going to look like and how life was going to not just look, but how it was going to feel, right? And so I had to really change my mindset and I had to change the way I saw myself. And so it's what I want you to write down, which is really important, is not just that I want you to get healthy between the ears and I want you to change your mindset, but I need to tell you how, because remember, the person always told me what, but no one ever told me how. I'm going to tell you how. So the what is you have to get healthy between the ears. The what is that you have to change your mindset and visualize yourself in a different way and change the way you're visualizing yourself. The how is that you need to take 10 minutes at a minimum every day. And guess what? I'm going to actually teach you how you don't have to find an extra 10 minutes. So if you're throwing your hands up right now saying, hey, I'm already too busy, how am I supposed to find another 10 minutes? Great news. Put your shoulders down and relax and put a big smile on your face. You don't have to find an extra 10 minutes. I'm going to tell you how you can do this without finding an extra 10 minutes. But I want you to take 10 minutes every single day, and I want you to listen or read what we call personal development, what the world calls personal development. And that's where they take personal development and they're like, oh, that's for people who cut their Barbie heads off and shove their Barbie up the bed. No, you don't have to be a crazy person to need personal development. Personal development is anything that's positive, anything that helps you to grow and be a better person, grow and be a better employee, grow and be a better spouse, better mother, better friend, better daughter, better husband, better business owner, better whatever. Anything that's positive that moves your life in a positive direction is personal development. So here's what I always say to people. It can be spiritual, it can be skill set development. Again, anything positive that's going to improve your life. Podcasts, There's hardback books, the regular deal where you open it up and put it on your lap. There's audiobooks, there's YouTube videos, there's my live streams you can listen to anytime or my stories on Instagram or Facebook. I try to keep them positive and funny. So if you just need to fill your head with something that's positive, find your niche and just start, keeping a list of what you want to listen to. When I was still working in corporate America, I had an 45-minute drive to work and a 45-minute drive home. That's an hour and a half in the car. I stopped listening to music. I love music, but I was like, you know what? I can take this hour and a half a day and I can listen to personal development and I can build skill sets to build my business, and I can build a positive mindset so that I stay on the wagon and stay healthy. So what I'm trying to tell you is you don't have to find an extra 10 minutes. You can couple it with it's a process called anchoring. And so you basically anchor a healthy habit with another habit that you do every day. And if you anchor them, then you have a higher likelihood that you're going to do them. So for example, I listen to this particular email that I get every morning. It's called Darren Daily while I brush my teeth. So I've anchored the Darren Daily audio, which is only 5 minutes, to brushing my teeth. So I never miss listening to my Darren Daily because I always brush my teeth. So if you anchor personal development audiobooks with driving to work or driving home from work or cooking dinner or putting your makeup on in the morning or walking the dog or whatever it is, if you anchor them together, then your likelihood is higher that you will continue to do that, okay? So I gave you the problem. The problem was that I had an unhealthy mindset, and I really honestly was losing hope that I really had the ability to stay on this stinking wagon. And the solution is I had to get healthy between the ears, change the mindset, and the how is you are going to start filling your head with positive personal development at least 10 minutes a day, minimum. Everybody with me? Okay, cool. All right. So tip number 2, what changed for me in July of 2008. I really actually didn't get a chance to tell you the whole July of 2008 story, so I'm going to tell it to you now. Because you're probably like, what the heck's July of 2008? Let me tell you what happened in July of 2008. So the problem for a lot of people is I don't have the time or the money. I would be healthy and I would go to the gym, but I don't have the time or the money. I would be healthy and I would cook healthy for my family, but I don't have the time or the money. How many times have you said that out loud? And please be honest, and I'm not being critical because I pretty much said it myself as well back then. I don't have time. I'm busy, very busy. Corporate executive, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I got dogs, I got stuff, I'm just way too busy. Well, truth over harmony, write that hashtag down. Somebody type that in the comments. Truth over harmony just means that I'm going to give you truth and we're still going to be friends. We're still going to be friends. Truth over harmony is that we all make time for the things that matter. So if you say you don't have time, that just means you have other things that are more important to you that you do every day that are more important than moving your body, exercising, and trying to eat healthy. That's all it means. It's not a dig. I'm not being critical. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just telling you the truth is you've just chosen these other things over the healthy habits. That's it. That's all it is. And believe me, I did it too. So I'm not being critical. But truth over harmony is you are. Because if you sit down and you write down everything you do every day, it might be that you need to switch a few things out. It might be that you have to sacrifice a few things. When I was building this business, and we can talk about that later, I started out with an hour a day. I took my lunch break. I was like, look, I'm going to be on social media anyway. I might as well do something positive to add value to people's lives while I'm on social media during my lunch break, rather than just scroll through the news feed with all of the negative crap anyway. Why do I need to fill my head with that stuff? So the point is, and I gave up TV at night. What on earth was I gaining by watching 3 hours of TV every night from 8 to 11 before I went to bed? Now granted, I like TV, I'm not being weird. I like watching the shows, I like The Voice, and I like certain TV shows, but it was more important for me to help people to be healthy and build this business, and so I made that sacrifice. That's it, that's how it goes, right? So, July of 2008, what happened? Anyway, the tip number 2, what changed for me, I want you to label this. Diana, you're doing such a great job keeping track of this. So tip number 1 is mindset. Tip number 2 is a better investment. A better investment. So the problem is I don't have time and I don't have the money. And so here it was the week before July the 4th of 2008. At the time, I was managing a gym, believe it or not. There was a 2-year stint in between my corporate executive jobs, and I was managing an all-women's gym. Thank you, Diana. And I had a personal trainer. One of the trainers, I hired her. So I would come in before work, and she would work me out. And I saw her twice a week. And she was killing me. I picked the Jillian Michaels of the trainers. I wanted someone to push me like a Shaun T. And she was putting me through another grueling workout. And I was really depressed because I was going somewhere for July 4th weekend. I knew I was going to be in a bathing suit, and I still could not get off my last 15 pounds. And here I was having Leanne kick my patootie twice a week. Everything she gave me to do, I did. With 100% gusto. Like, if anybody knows anything about me, like, I didn't just like willy-nilly through the workouts. I was like, I'll do heavier weights. I'll do more jumping jacks. Like, I just was like, I'll do whatever you tell me to do, right? I want to reach my goals. I want to be lean and I want to be healthy, and I'm not getting there. What's the problem? So anyway, she came in and she saw I was depressed. And she started telling me about this program that her and her husband were doing. They were getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they were doing these workouts at her house. And I said, Leanne, you're a personal trainer at this gym. You have an entire gym to do your workouts. Why are you working out at home to like a Jane Fonda thing? And she said, because it's changing my husband's life and I'm watching it change his life. And he wants me to do it with him to keep him motivated and inspired, and I know that I can stay healthy here in the gym, but I want to be with him and help him. And so I've decided to do this with hhim, and it's called P90X. And I was like, who, what, P, somebody, what, who's peeing? And she said, it's P90X. And I said, and she said, I want you to do this program. And I said, Leanne, that's like crazy people talk. First of all, you're gonna lose me as a client, number one. Why are you wanting me to do a home-based DVD workout program? And I'm working out with you, remember I pay you money? And she's like, no, you're not listening to me. I know I'm gonna lose you as a client, but I love you as a friend more. And I want you to get results. And you're sitting here crying and you're frustrated and you're gonna spend another 4th of July weekend feeling insecure in a bathing suit. And I don't want that for you. And I want you to do this program. And I said, I just don't think I have the self-motivation to put a DVD in and do a workout in the morning. I just don't know if I can do that. And she said, will you give me 30 days? Now here's the thing, she's asking me to give her 30 days. She's gaining nothing from this. She's actually losing something from it. She's losing a client and money. But she cared about me so much, and she knew this was changing her husband's life, and she said, I just want you to do this, please. And it has a really solid nutrition program, and I think the nutrition piece is the piece you're not getting right, and it's 80% of the pie, as we know. We can work out all day long, but we can't outwork out a poor diet. And I said, okay, I'll give you 30 days. Well, all I can tell you is that I have done nothing but Beachbody home-based workout programs since that day. July of 2008. That was the week before July 4th of 2008. And so my point is that she changed my life personally, then she turned around and changed it professionally, and she didn't even know, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But here's what you need to know. At the time, she's telling me this, oh my gosh, it's changing my husband's life. Once again, what was I thinking? Think back to the red, remember the magazine with the red ad and the girl in the leopard bathing suit, and remember the spin classes and the boxing classes and the boot camps and all of the diet pills. Once again in my brain, what am I thinking? Here's something else that I might find the magic solution, and it's going to change. This time's going to be different. This time's going to be different. This time's going to be different. This is the thing that's going to help me stay on the wagon and never ever fall off again. But here's what's so funny. I had no idea that I was right that time. I didn't know until like now, looking back 9 years later, it really truly was finally it. It really truly was. I don't call it a magic solution because there's no magic pill and there's no magic shake and there's no magic solution. But what I do say to you is when you feel frustrated because you feel like you've tried everything and someone says to you, but this is working for me, why don't you give it a shot? What do you have to lose at that point? At that point, you've tried all this other stuff. It is not working. It is not working. And so unless it's something that's not good for you, which I don't recommend, like diet pills or poison in your body or anything like that. But what I'm saying is if it's a different kind of a workout, one that you maybe aren't really feeling open to, you gotta open up your mind to stuff like that. If it's a meal plan that you have never done before and you're like, man, is this stuff gonna taste like cardboard? Am I gonna even enjoy food anymore? Open your mind to try something. And just like Leanne said to me, give me 30 days. Give it 30 days. Like, what do you have to lose? We all have to do trial and error through life. We've got to try stuff before we know if we're going to like it or not, right? So anyway, she had absolutely no idea. She completely changed my life that day. And the solution to the problem was what? I don't have the time or the money. And the solution was a simple little home-based workout program. Who knew? Who knew? Crazy, right? So here's the thing. Let me share with you why this simple little home-based workout program made a huge difference for me. Let's talk about time, okay? Because that was the problem. Remember, time and money. Didn't have the time, didn't have the money. Saving time. I no longer had to drive to and from, because now let me just tell you a little piece. Right after that happened, I went back into corporate America. So I was now working back in Tampa. So I wasn't working at the gym anymore. So in order for me to go to the gym for my workouts, I would have had to driven to the gym, and I still had to drive to the gym even when I was working at the gym. I still drove there, got my workout, went home, showered, and went back. But the point is that when you do a home-based workout program, you no longer have to drive to and from the gym. Most of the workouts are 30 to 40 minutes each. You're not wandering around the gym like, okay, I'm here now what do I do? And let me tell you, from someone who managed a gym, I can tell you from experience watching the people walk in the door. They walk in the door, they're all gung-ho, they check in at the front desk, and then they put their bag in the locker room, and they come back out, and they sort of look around, and then they go on the treadmill. And then while they're on the treadmill, they look around, they're like, when I get off this treadmill, what am I gonna do? So I'm not saying everyone does that. I'm just saying a lot of people, once they get to the gym, so you got the gym membership, you're paying for the gym membership, you get there, and you still don't really have a program. You don't have a structured thing unless you're meeting with a personal trainer or you're going into a class, both of which, cost money, obviously. So there was no more of any of that stuff. And so basically, when you block off time on your calendar and you block off workout time, if you are still going to the gym, you've got to block off enough time to get to the gym, do the workout, and then get back home. So at an absolute minimum, it's like an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half, because 99% of the time at a gym, a class is going to be an hour long, or working out with a personal trainer is a half hour to an hour, or you are going to take at least an hour in that gym. So now you're talking about an hour plus of time in your calendar that you have to block off for this workout time. Well, not with a home-based workout program, especially the ones we do now that the actual workout is only 30 to 40 minutes. So now workout time is 30 to 40 minutes because I'm already here. So all I do is go and push play, right? Well, not anymore. We go online to Beachbody On Demand. You still push play, but the point is that I don't go anywhere. So my workout time went from an hour plus to 30 to 40 minutes. So you can see. And the other thing that happens when you go to the gym, you socialize. So it's like the workout, maybe the class or whatever, and then there's all the talking to the people, which is fun and nice. But if you don't have time and you're a very busy person, you really want to get your workout done and get home. The other thing that's frustrating in a gym sometimes is you have to wait in line for equipment if you're getting there during prime time, and that can be very frustrating. So if you are really short on time, this is such a solution to the problem, because boom, you're really only blocking off 30 to 40 minutes to get your workout on. Saving money. You buy it once and you own it for life, right? It's not a gym membership. You're not paying monthly or a year, anything like that. And the gym membership, and I'll talk about that later, the gym memberships at an absolute bare minimum are running $10 a month. And most of them are a lot more than that. So this is no gym membership fees when you have a home-based workout program. No more personal trainer expense, because I certainly was, as I told you, I was paying a personal trainer twice a week. She was $75 an hour, and that's cheap. So that's $150 a week just on personal trainer if you're looking for accountability. And the other thing that I love so much about these home-based workout programs is that I had a detailed workout plan. So I wasn't wandering the gym. I knew exactly which workouts to do each day. And it just fit perfectly. It was like, there was no guessing. I just, boom, look at the calendar. Okay, that's the workout I'm doing. And so again, I was really, really sticking to my workout was only 30 to 40 minutes a day. In the workouts, there's all the modifications are shown if you need any kind of modifications because of limitations. And here's the thing, at the end of the day, I liked the workouts. If you don't like the exercises that you're doing, you're not gonna do them. One of the first questions I ask the people that I coach is, what kind of workouts do you like to do? Do you like kickboxing? Do you like dance-inspired type workouts? Do you like weight training? Do you like Pilates and yoga? What do you like to do? Because why am I going to align you with a full-on, full-blasted weight training program when you love dance-inspired workouts? Why wouldn't I align you with something like that? So guess what? If you like it, you're going to do it. And that's what I want. I want you to do it. We all want you to make it happen, right? So again, I'll end this particular tip with, I became a raving fan. I went from, are you kidding me, Leanne? How am I ever going to do this Jane Fonda thing you want me to do? To becoming a raving fan of staying home and getting it all done at home and saving all this time and saving all of this money. And, you know, for obvious reasons, I was a raving fan. It was working. It was changing my life. And it's, my God, 9 years later, like completely changed my life. All right, you got your paper and pen? You ready for number 3? Tip number 3, I hate the word tip. What changed for me? Community. So Diana, if you're still keeping notes for us, thank you for doing that. Number 1 was mindset. Number 2 is a better investment. Number 3 is community. Community. What's the problem? The problem is lack of self-motivation. A lot of us feel that way. Because let me just tell you something. I ain't telling you nothing you don't already know. At the end of the day, you know you need to work out, you know you need to eat healthy. And guess what? You can Google all day long and get free workouts, YouTube, there's free workouts everywhere. And you can Google all day long and get healthy recipes. So if the solution to being healthy is to eat healthy and to work out, you can do it for free. So why isn't everyone healthy? If you can be healthy for free, and I just told you how, because you need to eat healthy and you need to work out, I just told you how to get those two things for practically free. How come the whole world isn't healthy? Because they don't have the self-motivation. They don't have somebody holding them accountable. They're not making it happen. Why aren't they making it happen? Because no one is noticing and caring if they don't show up. That is the missing piece. It was the missing piece for me in July of 2008. She told me about P90X. Were the workouts great? Fabulous. Was the nutrition guide great? You can't imagine. I'm OCD. The thing has boxes that you had to put X marks in. Okay, the nutrition guide had boxes to put X marks in, and the workout guide, the workout calendar had boxes that you were putting X marks in. I'm OCD. It was, oh my gosh, how wonderful is that? But that's not what kept me on the wagon. What kept me on the wagon were these people who noticed and cared if I didn't show up. And they were tapping me on the shoulder saying, hey, Mary, we haven't seen you in a while. Are you okay? Is everything okay? You have to have people that notice and care when you don't show up. And I need you to hear me loud and clear, and please don't take offense to this. Your family and your friends are not your accountability partners. They love you with every ounce of who they are, but they don't love you enough to be honest with you if they think it's going to hurt you. Okay, so our family and our friends are our greatest cheerleaders, and just be grateful we have them. If they are your greatest cheerleaders, I hope they are for you. But they're not going to be bold enough to say at a restaurant, do you really want to order that? I don't know if you should order that. That doesn't align with your goals. Or on the 3rd day that you've missed a workout, say, do you miss another workout? Why aren't you working out anymore? They're just not, because they're afraid they're going to hurt our feelings. We need people who love us and care about us enough to say, hey, what's going on? That aren't necessarily our family and our friends. And so for me in July of 2008, P90X was amazing. The nutrition plan was stellar. But it was this community of people that online to boot. It wasn't even like these people were knocking on my door or calling me on my phone. They were online, and I checked in. And if I didn't check in, somebody was saying, they haven't seen Mary. And they were tapping me on the shoulder saying, are you okay? In a very loving way. But that little tap on the shoulder was just enough for me to stay on the wagon. I may have started to slip on the wagon, but I never fell off. because they tapped me on the shoulder and they noticed and they cared if I didn't show up. And so I'm telling you, community is crazy important, crazy important. Jim Rohn says we become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So I challenge you and ask you, who are your 5? Now here's the thing with the 5. Some of the people in our 5 we don't really have a whole lot of control over. We may have a negative spouse. We may have a negative coworker that's in the cube right next to us, or the office right next to us. Some of that stuff we have control over, some of the stuff we don't have control over. But I tell you, be very choosy who the 5 people are you spend the most time with, because you may think you can defy the average. Nah, not me. I'm so positive I could be surrounded by negative people all day long and it ain't going to affect me. And I'm telling you, statistics tell me and tell you that's not true. That's not true. You will become the average of 5 people you spend the most time with. So you need to be incredibly choosy who your 5 are, because you don't want them pulling you away from your goals. Okay, so the problem was lack of self-motivation. The solution is that I found like-minded, positive, healthy people who noticed and cared if I didn't show up. I had this online community. They cared about me. We were doing our workouts. We were checking in. We were talking about our nutrition. Were we staying on the wagon or off the wagon? I surrounded myself by them. I love them. They are my fit family. When I became a coach, I created my own. I call it Faithfully Fit, and some of those people are on this live with me tonight, and I love that. And some of those people have literally been able to stay on the wagon for over 5 years with me and tell me that they never ever had a track record like that. So the point is that it's working. It worked for me, it's working for them, and it can work for you. It's more difficult to skip a workout when others are seeing whether you're getting it done or you're not getting it done, right? And it's just healthy. It's a healthy, maybe sometimes competitive, but a healthy competition environment, if you will. Making sure we're all, feeling good and staying on the wagon. And listen, don't tell the people in my group, but they help me stay on the wagon. I mean, they think I coach them. They coach me just as much as I coach them. There are days where I'm sitting here working and I really don't feel like doing my workout. It doesn't happen every day, but it happens. I'm human, right? And on my phone, I can hear ping, 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 and it's everybody checking in, checking their workouts in and checking their nutrition in. And I'm like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. I got to get up and do my workout. So it works. It's accountability, and it totally works. Number 4, paper and pen. This is the last one. And then I'm going to let you go because I know you're all very, very busy. Number 4, what changed for me? One word: coaching. Write it down. Diana, you've been so wonderful. Number 1 was mindset. Number 2 was a better solution. Number 3 was community. And number 4 is coaching. And coaching, the problem is really the exact same as tip number 3. The problem is lack of self-motivation, right? And the solution is now as a coach, I became a role model. I became the inspiration. I became the coach. And here's the thing, don't let that scare you. Because at first I was like, somebody asked me to be a coach. I'm like, me? I'm not qualified to be a coach. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. How am I supposed to coach people? First of all, I spent 13 years on and off the wagon. You want me to coach people? And the person said to me, oh my gosh, relax, breathe. You don't have to have any of those qualifications. You don't have to be an expert in fitness or nutrition. You just have to have the solution and bring people on your journey with you. Because you found the solution, Mary, right? You found the good movie you want to tell everybody about. You found the recipe that's so good you can't wait to tell everybody. You found a way to stay on the wagon, and it's making you feel amazing. Why don't you want to share that with other people? And I was like, golly, I do. I really do, but I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm a corporate executive. I don't have time to coach people. I'd love to, but I don't have time. And the person said to me, you know what, Mary, just right now, why don't you just come on board, enjoy the nice discount, and if you can fit it in, maybe take a few minutes a day and just inspire other people, just encourage them, just get online and encourage people. I'm like, okay. So I did. There was no obligation to do anything specific. I'm like, okay, I'll sign. And about 6 months in, I was like, this feels really good. Like, I have a lot of fun doing this. I'm on social media anyway. Why am I going to hang out in the news feed where there's all this negativity? Why don't I just start encouraging people to come along on this journey with me? And it was starting to snowball. and it was feeling so good and so rewarding. And so I started out just taking my lunch break at work, and I would sit in my office and eat my lunch and just encourage other people. And that hour, I decided to give more time. So instead of watching TV from 8 to 11 at night, I decided to take that time and build this business. And I spent 3.5 years, building the business, and had the beautiful opportunity now to do it full time. Whoever in the world thought, from a conversation with my personal trainer and me making fun of this whole Beachbody system and calling it, the Jane Fonda thing, and her begging me to try it, to it becoming something that changed my life personally and now professionally, it maybe brings tears to my eyes. And it's so much bigger than that, because as you guys, I told you at the beginning, I truly feel like it's my God-given purpose. That this is, He's made it so crystal clear that this is what His intention is for me here on earth. It just blows my mind. But being a coach, it holds me accountable. So just as much as I'm holding other people accountable, I'm like, oh, okay, well, not only is this rewarding to help these people and bring them along on this journey with me, but I probably better be a good role model. So yeah, I may miss a workout or two, no big deal, but I can't fall off the wagon again. I can't be that kind of coach. That would be hypocritical. I'm going to tell them to do their thing and I'm going to fall off the wagon again. Can't do that. So the whole self-motivation, becoming a coach, it totally took that away, right? It was like, boom, now I have one more thing to help me to stay accountable and stay on the wagon. And the cool thing about the business was, I said, I started just with an hour a day. Like I said, initially it wasn't about me ever even wanting to go full time. And to be perfectly honest with you, there's a lot of people who work this business who have no intention of ever taking it full time. It's a side hustle. It's a side hustle, and it's fun and it's rewarding, and at the same time, they're able to make some extra money and pay off bills or go on vacation or put money away in their kids' college funds or whatever you want to do with the money. But what's so really cool about it is sometimes it's accidental money. I was talking to one of my coaches and she's like, oh my, she was a brand new coach, and she goes, oh my God, I got this check in the mail. And I said, well, yeah, remember your friend who you helped and brought her on the journey with you? She's like, I had no idea I was going to make money by doing that. I'm like, yeah, and what was really cool is you did it from the heart. You genuinely wanted to help her, and you were financially rewarded for that. And that's how the business works. So here's the deal. You have permission to do this healthy lifestyle thing any way you want. Obviously, if you're listening to me right now, if you jumped on this live, you probably are in a struggle. You probably are experiencing the yo-yo madness, because I don't think you would have jumped on here if you weren't. Or you're intrigued by the business, or maybe a bit of both. And so what I say to you is, of course you have permission to do the journey any way that you feel like is working for you. But I kind of feel like you wouldn't be here listening to me if what you're doing right now is working for you. This would have been a waste of your time. And so what I say to you is, think about this. Just think about this for a minute. If I spent all of those years banging my head up against the wall trying to find a solution to this problem of this yo-yo madness, and this changed my life 9 years ago, and it's still changing my life today, why wouldn't you give it a shot and give it a good 30 days? Like Leanne said to me, just give me 30 days. And if it changes your life, my God, what a great 30 days, right? If it doesn't, cool, go back to what you were doing before. But when you look at the value of what we have, it's crazy. So when you join the gym, as I said before, it's a minimum of $10 a month, right? $10 a month times 12 months, it's $120 a year to be a member of the cheapest gym out there. Most of them are not $10 a month, but some of them are, right? Again, you're going in there, you might be walking around and not knowing what to do. You still don't have accountability. You still don't have a personal trainer at $10 a month. You really just have the building and the equipment. And then if you do decide, oh, you know what, I really probably do need accountability, and I really do need somebody to sort of show me what to do if I'm going to get any kind of results, you got personal trainer costs. Personal trainers run at a minimum $75 an hour. And as I said, most people will do 2 sessions a week if you're going to get any kind of a result. 2 sessions a week, so $75, let's say at a minimum, times 2, that's $600 a month. That's over $600 a month times 12. Somebody do the math. That's a lot of money a year. But let's even just say, being conservative, that you just do 1 personal training session a week, right? That's 1 personal training session a week for $75. That's $300 a month. That's $3,900 a year. And that's somebody holding you accountable 1 day a week. What about all the other days? What about all the rest of the month? Who's holding you accountable on those other days and other hours? Like that personal trainer is just there for an hour with you. What about the other hours in the day that you might be slipping and falling? Who's holding you accountable? Do they let you text them? Are they open and available for you 24/7? Usually not. So $120 a year for gym membership, $3,900 a year for one personal training session a week. You're talking $4,020 a year, and that is just the gym and a personal trainer alone. That does not have anything to do with your nutrition. We haven't even talked about nutrition, and nutrition is 80% of you reaching your goals. Nutrition, right? You got to have the nutrition piece. My gosh, if we can't outwork out a poor diet. We can't. We tried, right? And so when you enter into this beautiful Beachbody system and this community of people that I talked about, you get 24/7 support. Right? Now, as a coach, am I available 24/7? No. But when you're in the community, you've got people that are always in the group at some point in time. So somebody's in there to help you and lift you up and pick you up off the floor if you're falling down. There's always somebody who's bouncing in there to respond if you should pop in and say, help me somebody, I'm falling down. I need someone to help me to get this workout done today. You have healthy recipes, you have the meal plans, you have the workouts, you have the personal trainer built right in. You have a personal coach and a personal accountability partner. You have accountability buddies. The entire community are your accountability buddies. You have a workout schedule that tells you exactly what to do every day. You don't have to wander around a gym and try to figure it out. You have daily personal development. We talked about that. You have daily meal replacement shake. I didn't even go into that, but Shakeology has been a major game changer in my life. And so here's $4,000 a year, and it doesn't even include your nutrition. Or you can get started with the Beachbody system for under $200, and that gives you a year's worth of workouts and your nutrition plan and your personal accountability partner, all the things that we talked about, right? And guess what else? As I talked about with the coaching piece of it, you don't have to become a coach, but I will tell you this, because there's not anybody saying, hey, you have to do this and you have to do that and you have to do this with the business, you could always enroll as a coach and enjoy the nice discount and maybe accidentally get a check in the mail like my coach did because you accidentally helped somebody who really needed your help and really needed to come on the journey with you. Coaching changed my life. I mean, it's so rewarding. And to get me out of corporate America, I no longer have to drive up and down the highway. I have the ability to wake up every day and work my business from this phone that I'm talking into anywhere, anytime. Is it hard work? Of course it is. Any business is going to be hard work. You got to put the time in, right? But you have the ability with a business like this, your investment to get started in the business is really your investment in your own personal health. So when I say you can get started under $200, that's not a business startup fee. That's $200 for you to personally get your workouts and your nutrition and all the things you need as a customer, whether or not you choose to be a coach or not. But that same under $200 investment can also start you in this business opportunity, and you can really do anything with it that you want, right? Anything with it that you want. So I know I've talked a lot. It's been over an hour. I'm 4 minutes over my time, and I don't want to keep you. But I will say this. I really want you to think about the story that I told you tonight and think about how many things I thought for sure were the solution. And they for sure weren't the solution for me. But what finally worked for me can finally work for you. It could be the solution that finally keeps you on the wagon. It could be the solution that finally stops you from banging your head up against the wall because you've fallen off the wagon again. You can't just rely on healthy food and working out. You've got to have somebody noticing and caring when you don't show up. And I will tell you, I really want you to go back and thank the person that invited you to this call tonight because they did you a really big favor. They not only helped you to hear these solutions to my problem and how I was able to change my life personally and, as I said, professionally as well. But this could, you know, I talk about July of 2008. I keep talking about July of 2008, and I can see that conversation with that trainer of mine in the gym. One day you might be telling this story, and your visual might be me sitting here telling you this solution that I found and sharing it forward with you, and you saying to somebody else, I never dreamt that this silly little Jane Fonda thing this woman was talking about, I'm just kidding about that, but it would change my life. And so this may be a very profound moment for you, and I hope one day you call me and tell me, oh my gosh, Mary, 9 years ago I got on this webinar with you, and I can't believe that I thought maybe it was just another thing, but when I tried it, I realized it changed my life. And so I pray, my prayer is that I did not waste my hour tonight, that somebody needed to hear my message. And if, you know, again, it's really a twofold blessing. It's, I can help you change your life personally, professionally, or both, which is really cool, which is what happened to me. So thank the person that invited you, the coach that invited you to this call tonight, just for caring about you and thinking about you. And I would ask that, you know, they're going to follow up with you and they're going to ask you what you thought about my story and my message. But I would encourage you to be proactive and reach out to them. Reach out to them and thank them. Reach out to them and say, you know what, this is something, I want to give it a 30-day try. Mary said she gave it a 30-day shot and it's changed her life. Why wouldn't I give it a 30-day shot? Do you have the ability to add me into your group and to coach me? So ask the coach that invited you to get more information. What I also want you to do with the person that invited you is I want you to tell them if you're a 1, 2, or a 3. And this is where I'm going to end this call, but I want you to listen before you go. You know, a 1, if you're going to tell them you're a 1, that's just, look, what a great call. Mary's message really resonated with me. I had absolutely no idea if this is for me, but I really would like more information. I'm just curious, and you know, please don't hold me obligated to anything, but can you give me some more information about both, you know, helping myself personally, but also about the coaching. I'm just intrigued and I want more information. If you're number 2, you say to the coach, hey, listen, I'm a number 2. This sounds great. I'm not really sure about the business piece of it, but I can tell you that I'm definitely interested in what it did to Mary personally, and I feel like that's what I need for me right now. So I'm not really interested in the business piece of it, but personally, I need to know more about this program and this Beachbody system. And do you have room in your group for me? Because I need somebody to tap me on the shoulder, and I need somebody to notice and care if I don't show up. So that would be a number 2 if that's you. Number 3 is, you know what? Thank you so much for inviting me. It was not a waste of my time, or at least I hope you say that. But I'm not ready yet. You know, we all have to be ready, right? And so I just don't know that I'm ready right now. But what I would ask if you say you're a number 3 is, would you refer someone to the coach that invited you? So it might not be for you, but you might know someone who could really use this solution. You might know someone who's really struggling. And I'm not talking about you thinking about all the people that are overweight. That's not what I'm talking about. I wasn't sitting in a situation where I was obese or overweight. I had like my last 15 pounds to lose. And if you would have looked at me, you would have said, I would give my left arm to the year before picture. And I get that. I'm not being weird about that. I know that I was still a healthy person, but I wasn't as healthy as I wanted to be. And I knew I had room to grow, and I had goals. And you can't be critical of people's goals just because they're different than yours, right? So number 1, look, I have no idea if this is for me, but I definitely want more information about the coaching and also about how to change my life personally with this program. Number 2, not really sure about the coaching piece, but definitely interested in changing my life personally and staying on the wagon and learning about the Beachbody system. Get me into your group, please. And number 3 is, thank you so much for inviting me, but I really don't think that I'm ready right now. But I have someone that I'd like to refer to you, and so I will do that, and I'll get that information over to them. I hope that you have found value in this. One of the things that I'm so incredibly adamant about is that I don't just talk at you, that you walk away with actionable things you can physically do, right? And I gave you those things. I didn't just tell you what, I told you how. Because again, I just remember being so frustrated with everybody telling me what I needed to do. Like, I felt like saying, no shit, Sherlock. I know I need to eat healthy and I know I need to work out. Tell me how to stay consistent with this. And I hope that you're like, oh my gosh, Mary told me how. Mary's telling me how. And that would do nothing but make me so happy if that is the case for you. So I know you're ready to make a change, Vicki. You got the email, girl. Let's do this. I already told you exactly what to do. Vicki's my next coach and my next amazing person in my challenge group. She and I have been talking. So welcome aboard, Vicki. That's so exciting. Anyone else want to just jump on live and say if you are a 1, 2, or a 3? I love that Vicki jumped right in. She's like, I'm a 1/2. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with being a 1/2 or a 2/3 or a 1/ I guess you can't be a 1/3. Shauna, thank you so much, Mary. It was great hearing your story. Thank you. Thanks, Shauna, for being on. Being a part of your Faithfully Fit group has definitely helped me become more consistent in my fitness journey. Thanks for all of your encouragement. I can't see the rest of it. Oh, you are so welcome. Shauna is a very new coach and customer of mine in Faithfully Fit, and Vicki's getting ready to be, which is amazing. I love that you guys are here. And some of the other folks on, Donna Garrett's in my group, some of the other folks on, like Diana Lynn and Barrett, some other coaches that are on here. Diana, thank you for typing in all of the tips that I gave. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful evening. I can't wait to hear how many of you find this solution to be your solution, and message me. And please private message me and tell me that that you have finally found your solution to and it's changed your life. I would love to hear that. That would make me feel great. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.